Rebuilding your life when you feel behind, the long way that actually works. The quiet panic no one talks about. There's a specific kind of panic that doesn't look like panic at all. It looks like scrolling while feeling numb. It looks like working hard but feeling directionless. It looks like telling yourself you'll start once you catch your breath. But that breath never seems to come. If you feel behind in life, not just financially but emotionally, socially, or personally, this video is for you. Because feeling behind doesn't usually come from doing nothing. It comes from doing everything you can, and still feeling like it isn't enough. And the most dangerous part isn't the delay. It's the belief that something is wrong with you because of it. Today we're going to talk about how people actually rebuild their lives when they feel behind. Not through pressure or comparison, but through clarity, structure, and patience. This isn't a quick fix. It's a reset that lasts. How people end up feeling behind in the first place. Most people who feel behind didn't waste their time. They were surviving. They were handling things that didn't come with a roadmap. They were managing stress, instability, expectations, and responsibilities that don't show up on highlight reels. But society measures progress publicly. Degrees by a certain age, careers by a certain timeline, relationships by a certain milestone, money by a certain number. And when your life doesn't follow that script, you don't just feel delayed, you feel defective. Over time, this creates pressure. And pressure changes how people think. Instead of asking, "What matters to me?" they ask, "What should I have done by now?" That question slowly disconnects you from yourself. The invisible cost of comparison. Comparison doesn't just steal joy, it steals direction. When you're constantly measuring yourself against others, you stop making choices based on alignment and start making them based on fear. Fear of being left behind. Fear of looking unsuccessful. Fear of wasting more time. Ironically, that fear often causes people to freeze. They wait to feel confident before acting. They wait to feel ready before starting. They wait to feel certain before committing. But confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. And that's where the cycle traps people. Why rushing never fixes the feeling. When people realize they feel behind, they often try to speed up. They take on too much. They chase goals that don't fit. They say yes out of urgency instead of intention. This creates movement but not progress. Because progress isn't about speed. It's about direction. And when direction is unclear, speed just leads to burnout. This is where many people give up, not because they can't improve their lives, but because they're exhausted from trying to do it the wrong way. The turning point. What actually changes the trajectory? Here's the moment things shift. When you stop asking how to catch up and start asking how to stabilize. Stability isn't boring. It's foundational. It means knowing what your priorities are, understanding your limits, creating routines that support you instead of draining you. This is where rebuilding begins. The slow, powerful process of rebuilding. Part 1. Redefining what being behind actually means. Being behind compared to who? A version of life that didn't account for your circumstances? A timeline built for someone with different support, health, or resources. You are not behind life. You are on your path. And that path only works when you stop forcing it to look like someone else's. Part 2. Choosing one area to stabilize first. Trying to fix everything at once is a form of self-abandonment. Instead, ask, what area of my life, if stabilized, would make everything else feel easier? It might be finance, mental health, physical routines, work structure. Pick one. Not forever, just first. Part 3. Building consistency over intensity. Small actions done consistently beat big actions done occasionally. That means manageable goals, realistic schedules, room for rest. This is how trust with yourself is rebuilt. Part 4. Learning to tolerate being a beginner again. Feeling behind makes people avoid starting, because starting means admitting where you are. But beginners aren't weak. They're brave. Every skill, habit, and life you admire began with awkward first steps. Part 5. Creating structure that supports you. Motivation is unreliable. Structure is not. Simple systems, weekly check-ins, written priorities, limited goals. Structure removes the daily question of, what should I do? Part 6. Stopping the internal narrative that works against you. Notice how you speak to yourself. Would you talk to someone you care about that way? Replace judgment with observation. Replace shame with curiosity. This isn't softness. It's effectiveness. Part 7. Measuring progress differently. Progress isn't just outcomes. It's showing up, staying consistent, recovering faster when you fall off. Those are wins. Part 8. Letting go of the need to prove yourself. You don't need to justify your pace. Your life doesn't need to make sense to everyone. Peace increases when performance decreases. Part 9. Building a future without panic. When panic drives decisions, regret follows. When clarity drives decisions, confidence grows. Slow planning beats rushed action. Part 10. Accepting that rebuilding is nonlinear. You will have good weeks and bad weeks. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. Progress continues as long as you return. What it really means to be on track. Being on track doesn't mean being ahead of others. It doesn't mean hitting milestones early, keeping up appearances, or proving that you're doing well enough for the world to approve of you. Being on track means being aligned with your reality. It means you understand where you are, financially, emotionally, mentally, and you're no longer at war with that truth. When you're on track, your decisions start to feel calmer. You're not constantly reacting. You're not choosing out of panic. You're not chasing timelines that don't belong to you. Instead, you're making choices that are sustainable. Choices you can actually maintain when motivation fades. Choices that support your energy, not drain it. Being on track also means progress looks quieter. It looks like consistency instead of intensity. It looks like fewer promises and more follow-through. It looks like trusting yourself a little more each time you show up. And most importantly, being on track means your self-worth is no longer tied to speed. You stop measuring your life by how fast it's moving and start measuring it by how grounded it feels. If you feel behind, you're not broken. You're early in a chapter that requires patience, honesty, and care. And the fact that you're here, learning, reflecting, rebuilding, means the story is already changing. You're not late. You're becoming. If this video resonated with you, take a moment not to rush into action but to breathe. Progress doesn't demand urgency. It responds to consistency. One step at a time is still forward. And you're allowed to take the long way. Because the long way is often the one that lasts.